Me Before You stars Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin. It is another romance film, which is either a yay or nay. Let's talk about the movie. In this film, Emilia Clarke plays a woman who's looking for a job. She finds one where she's the caretaker of a paralyzed man, played by Sam Claflin. At first, he's like, "You are a bitch, so bye-bye." And she's like, "Oh, I can help you." And then they start forming a relationship that leads into something more, and we have our movie. I was so hesitant going into this movie because I like a majority of romance films, but I do not like the ones that look like Nicholas Sparks films. And this one kind of did look like one, but it looked like a better one. So I went to this movie with kind of mild expectations. I love the two actors. I love Emilia Clarke a lot. Daenerys Targaryen, the Queen of Dragons, that's my bait. And Sam Claflin's pretty cool too. He was Finnick in the Hunger Games, so you could say these two are pretty likable people. And they are likable. Not just in this movie, they're likable in real life, but also, you know what else is likable? This film. I really enjoyed this film. I had a good time watching it. And by good time, I mean, I didn't want to do anything bad. Like, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay. I really liked this film. Let's start with the positives. The chemistry between Clarke and Claflin is amazing. I bought them as lovers, and it was really great. Their acting was great, particularly Emilia Clarke. She is a queen, not just because she's the queen on Game of Thrones, but really, she's an excellent actress. She needs to be in more films. The only other film I saw her in was Terminator Genesis. She was an okay Sarah Connor, but she could have done a little better. But she was great in this movie, and I would love to see her do another romance film, maybe a Richard Linklater romance. That could be cool. And Sam Claflin was good. He wasn't on the same level as Emilia Clarke. There were times when he kind of annoyed me, but for the most part, he was very compelling. I felt bad for him because, not just because he's paralyzed, but like he's going through a lot of traumatic stuff, and it was really compelling, and I was really into it. The writing, for the most part, is good. You have your typical romance cliches. Some of it I could push to the side, but some of it I just can't, and I'll get to that when I get to the negatives. It is well directed by Thea. It wasn't bland, it wasn't boring, it didn't drag. Charles Dance is in this movie. He plays Tywin Lannister on Game of Thrones. When they interacted, Emilia Clarke and Charles Dance, I was like, oh, this is crazy. And to think, if they could interact on Game of Thrones, which hasn't happened yet, Daenerys would kick Tywin's ass. It's insane. My flaws with the movie do lie with the cliches. There are a lot of typical cliches in this movie, particularly one that I'll get to in just a bit. Sometimes the pacing is a little bumpy. For the most part, it flows very well. Like, when the movie begins, it is bumpy. For about 50 minutes in the movie, it goes well, and then towards the climax, it starts to get a little bumpy again. And also, the ending has received so much controversy because it isn't similar to the way the book ended. I didn't hate the ending, but I didn't love it either. I was like, that's kind of an interesting way to go. It's very risky. It could have been a little more well done, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. And now with that particular cliche that I was talking about before, there was a love triangle in this movie. Emilia Clarke's character has a boyfriend. He's played by Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. And first of all, I haven't seen him since definitely Oz Part 2. Yeah, the love triangle just did not flow well. I was not into that storyline. I was like, oh, really? Can't you guys just think of something else? I don't know. It just didn't even end well either. It began like the typical way a love triangle would begin, but then it ended in a very poorly way. It didn't even go anywhere afterwards, so I was like, that's kind of rushed. But overall, I really liked Me Before You. It was a very surprising film. Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin's chemistry is great. The writing's pretty good. The direction is fine. The pacing could be very iffy, but it is a damn good romance film and definitely a big surprise. I'm going to give Me Before You a solid B. Guys, tell me down below what you thought of this movie. If you saw it, what's your favorite romance film? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.